Hi, everybody. I'm Dieter Kurtenbach. This is Chase Center, and the Warriors lost another game. We're going to be saying that a lot this year. Final score in this one, 127-110, Spurs over the Dubs. The news today, Stephen Curry's out for 3 months. That's probably a conservative estimate. I would say that he, much like Klay Thompson, out until after the All-Star break. And frankly, by the time he returns, by the time Klay possibly could return, this team is going to be so far out of it that it's just not going to matter. They might as well take the rest of the year off at this juncture. Three things off of this game. I could just say bad, bad, and bad, but let's try to delve in a little bit deeper. One, the Warriors are likely going to have the worst defense in the history of the National Basketball Association by the end of the year. That's really not hyperbolic at all. Last year, the Cavaliers set a record. They gave up 116 points per 100 possessions. They were egregious. The Warriors are on pace, and it's only been 5 games, but on pace to absolutely shatter it. And they played, I would argue, their best defensive game of the season tonight. They slowed the game down significantly. I thought they made things slightly difficult at times on the San Antonio Spurs, and they still allowed 131 points per 100 possessions. So, yeah, not awesome. Even with Draymond Green, this team just really doesn't stand a chance. A backcourt of Jordan Poole and D'Angelo Russell, that's just red meat to a dog. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you're not supposed to score 50 points on them on a given night if you're an opposing backcourt. Second thing, let's talk about Russell. He put in an admirable game. He is the first, the last, the everything for this Warriors squad. Jordan Poole is the second best shot creator and scorer, and he was probably a reach in the first round. He's been playing nice, don't get me wrong, but Jordan Poole should not be in that role for any team in the National Basketball Association. D'Angelo Russell, a one-time All-Star, an alternate in the East, but an All-Star nevertheless. He just has to do pretty much everything, and the Warriors totally changed the way that they play basketball. It is direct, it is rote, it is D'Angelo Russell running a high pick and roll with Willie Cauley-Stein or Marquise Chris setting the pick. And listen, it looked okay at times, but ultimately it is not a sustainable model for success in this modern game, which just needs layers and layers and layers upon that kind of play, unless you're the Houston Rockets and you have James Harden. That's it. So D'Angelo Russell wasn't James Harden. I don't think that we should expect him to be James Harden. He had an effective field goal percentage of 43%. It's just he needs to be above 55 if the Warriors are to stand even a remote chance. And maybe he will have games like that, but they will likely be few and far between. And ultimately, it might not even matter because this defense is so bad. So Warriors played with a lot slower pace. They ran through a guy who probably is not going to be effective enough to be able to lead them single-handedly on offense, and their defense is really bad. Third thing, they also got just pounded on the glass by the Spurs. The Spurs are a tall team. Greg Popovich is going to look for market inefficiencies. Rebounding, he seems to think, is one of them right now, but San Antonio had an offensive rebound rate of 33%. I mean, it's just completely unacceptable. The Warriors and the Spurs had the exact same effective field goal percentage, but the Spurs got up 9 more shots because they just kept taking the ball off of their own misses and putting it back in. Or not, but they just got a lot more shots. And that was pretty much the only path that the Warriors had to victory. They got a good night from Poole. They got a good night from Eric Paschall. They got a good night from Damian Lee, at least on the offensive end. There were some solid things that the Warriors were doing on the offensive end, but they're so bad on defense, and they're not doing the little things. And frankly, they played with good effort, but effort's only going to get you so far in this NBA. At some point, it has to come to talent, and they didn't even play that talented of a team tonight. If they can't beat Charlotte tomorrow night or Saturday night here, and there's a very good chance that Draymond Green does not play in that game, we are going to be on a very serious watch looking for the next Warriors win. And only a few years ago, we were wondering when they would ever lose. It's bleak times, folks. Talk soon.